Howdy and welcome to Tuesday's serving of Daily Bread. This week we are talking about God's judgment and mercy. God judges evil, but offers mercy to all people. Our scripture reading today is in Nahum 1:1-6. An oracle concerning Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite. The Lord is a jealous and avenging God. The Lord takes vengeance and is filled with wrath. The Lord takes vengeance on his foes and maintains his wrath against his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power. The Lord will not leave the guilty unpunished. His way is in the whirlwind and the storm. The clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea, and it dries up. He makes all the rivers run dry. Bashan and Carmel wither, and the blossoms of Lebanon fade. The mountains quake before him, and the hills melt away. The earth trembles at his presence, the world and all who live in it. Who can withstand his indignation? Who can endure his fierce anger? His wrath is poured out like fire. The rocks are shattered before him. God's jealousy is not the same as human jealousy. Human jealousy and the anger that comes from it is often the result of unrestrained passions corrupted by sin. God's jealous anger, however, is based on his holiness, which cannot endure sin. God is jealous because he loves his people. He is deeply committed to protecting them, and he will judge those who oppress them. God does not delight in getting even with people. The Lord is slow to anger. He is long-suffering and forbearing, but we need to remember that God will not allow the wicked to go unpunished. This would be a violation of his justice. Although God is long-suffering with sinners, he will deal with their rebellion. His slowness to anger is not unlimited. He will not turn a deaf ear to sin. He is able at any moment to crush the wicked. In verses 3-5, Nahum used figurative language to describe God's judgment. His power is like the whirlwind that sweeps away everything in its path. He walks on the clouds as if they were a dusty road. At a time in Israel's history, he rolled back the sea and led his children across on dry ground. He has dried up bodies of water by withholding rain. All of nature has at times felt the effects of his judgment. Nahum saw earthquakes and volcanic eruptions as pictures of God's wrath being poured out on the wicked. God does not delight in punishing the wicked. His judgment only comes after his mercy and forbearance have been exhausted and prolonged sinning and hardening of the human heart and will against God. Because people do not experience immediate judgment for sin, they ignore the reality of God's judgment on sin. While God is slow to anger, there will come a day when he will judge all who have not turned to him. This is the message we must proclaim to those who do not know Christ. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's portion of Fresh Daily Bread, and may God richly bless you today.